All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. We definitely appreciate the support. A bunch of people out there watching. Sorry it took me so long to set this up, but the camera and the microphone and Firebox, whatever it is, wasn't working right. Then I had to deal with Chrome, wasn't working right neither. So, but I think I'm back in. I think I'm good now. So let me know if you could hear me. Let me know if everything seems okay. It's kind of dark, but I meant to put it this way. So let me do a couple. Big shout out to everybody watching out there. I think I saw, well, I actually saw Mateo. Mateo is a great supporter to the channel. We definitely appreciate that. And Big Johnson Guns and Gear, awesome dude. So go ahead and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. He has some cool guns as well. So all right, loud and clear. So big shout out to everybody up there. Let me see who's in the comment. Joel, Kiaren, maybe I probably messed up your name. Random name. Got it, man. You guys got some cool names. But so big shout out to everybody watching. I definitely appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe. You know, share the video and all that stuff. It helps out the channel, obviously. And all that stuff is good to go, by the way. All right, got it. So check it out. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Let me share my screen here real quick, and then I'm kind of gonna do some questions here, and we're gonna hang around for a while. For all you guys that spend, have Merry Christmas, or you guys have the Christmas, we just had them. I hope you guys had a great time with your family or whoever you spend time with. I hope it was a blessing, and I hope you had a great time. We had an amazing time here in the house. The first day we went to my in-laws' house, which was a Saturday, and then that Sunday I went to, we actually did it here in my house. So it was a really, really good time. And we ate a lot of food, and we just had a good time. You know, life is about being with the family. You know, life is about spending time with the family and just having a good time and talking and just, you know, people go around all this crazy stuff. You know, I want to do this in my life, or I want to do that, or I want to do this. And life is about spending time with your family. You know, in my case, you know, life is about praising God and all that stuff. So what did I get for Christmas? So I'm going to get into that, but if you see this chair right here, really fancy one, that's what I got from Christmas. So I really appreciate it, because I spend a lot of time here in the computer. I do the videos for the channel. I also do the videos for my wife's channel, which is the Stacy Leanne channel. She does makeup and things like that. So if you want to know anything about makeup, you could probably ask me, because I have added so many videos related to makeup. It's ridiculous. So we do that, and I also do the pastor on call channel, which is our church channel. I do a lot of the videos as well. So I do spend a lot of time in front of the computer and just, you know, editing videos, guys. This thing takes forever. I mean, this is a lot of work. A lot of guys that think that you're going to come into this platform, make a couple of videos, become famous, and then you're going to make a ton of money. That's totally untrue. What's going to happen is that you're going to work a lot. You're going to work, and maybe after a couple of years, you're going to make a little bit of money. So my wife got a bunch of makeup. There we go. But all right, so let me share this real quick, and then I'm gonna share a couple of things that I want to share with you guys before I get into some of the questions here. So I was thinking about training today, and essentially the reason why I was thinking about training was one of you guys sent me Hunt for Food 67 sent me a really interesting video that I saw today. I'm not going to mention any names, but the whole four safety rules and shooting, and the guy was in front of the target. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it by now. But he sent me that video, and I started to think about that. And then I remember that I had this comment that I saved here. You guys can see it right here from Nelson Molina. And he was saying, you don't have to go to the range to practice. There is plenty of drills that you could do at home. So essentially he's saying, you know, there's a lot of things that you could do at home, which is very true, guys. There's a lot of things that you could do at home. I mean, a ton of stuff. So I started to think about that, and I was like, all right, let me share a couple of things with you guys, knowing that I train many Marines in many different things, right? Over my years and years as a corporal, as a staff sergeant, as a lance corporal, as a sergeant. I mean, you name it. My life for many years had to do with training. If it wasn't training, we didn't care. If it wasn't, shooting, moving, and communicating, we didn't care. It was all about that to prepare for combat, right? So, anyways, I was thinking about that, and I said, look, a lot of you guys want to do training. A lot of you guys want to get better. A lot of you guys want to improve your skills. And the first thing that I would tell you is that even though with this comment, nothing is going to replace an instructor. So nothing is replacing an instructor. And a lot of guys get kind of like, well, I could go and shoot. I could go and do this. I could go and do that. Got it. You could do whatever. You could do training. You could do your practice at home. You could do everything. But a formal instructor is necessary. At one point, you got to go to a place where someone is going to criticize you. Someone's going to give you a pointer. Someone is going to tell you, hey, you know what? This is a good way to do that, or a good way to do this. Or how about you try this technique? And obviously, with that, it's going to come down to like knowing who you're going to train with. I got to tell you guys, there's a lot of guys here in the community that is just like, I'm like, these people are funny. I mean, some of the things that you see here in the community is just, it's kind of funny in a way, because some of these people are making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And in all reality, all what they're teaching is trash. And I see it every day here just watching videos. Some of the strategies, some of the techniques, and it's just funny to see this. So you got to be careful with that. You got to make sure that you have the right person. You got to make sure you have the right trainer. So go out there, go into the internet and do some research, figure it out, read some of the after action report. If you don't have some of them, email them and be like, hey man, you got an after action report? I want to know what people are saying about you. Obviously, if you start training, seek out the right trainer. I mean, if you want to do, operator / ninja stuff, and you want to jump around and do all this, go and train with a guy that has that experience. If you want to do your basic firearm, basic, pistol handling or something like that, you could go to anyone that had that experience. So what I'm trying to say is like, you got to train with the right person. So here's the deal. Let me open my notes over here. So you definitely got to get an after action report. You definitely got to train with somebody that you know. You definitely got to know the background. I mean, you got to know that. So yes, there's a lot of things that you could do at home. There's a lot of drills that you could practice. There's a lot of stuff you could do. But to me, always this is kind of like the strategy behind everything. To me, always has been the whole crawl, walk, and run. So I'm not going to walk into I crawl. I'm not going to run into I walk, right? So it got to be step 1, 2, and 3. It can't be straight to step 3. You got to go through the process. So to me, always being step 1 will be like the lesson. What am I going to learn? Am I going to learn how to reload an AR-15, reloading procedures, reloading techniques, or whatever? First is that classroom. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the things that we got to do. Then we're going to practice that. Actually go out there. That will be the walk. And actually, start doing that with no rounds. Just, you dry practice. And then you actually go into the range and you do the live practical application. So again, you take the class, you do the practice with no rounds, and then you actually do the live application. To me, that has always been the best way to do training. The whole crawl, walk, and run. To me, going straight to running is not good. To me, I got to go through those steps. So obviously, there have to be a safe plan. There have to be some type of safety implemented. And that's kind of what it got me thinking today when I was watching that video. there always got to be a safe, safety plan. And I know a lot of guys say, well, a lot of times the safety plan is going to take over training, but it has to be one, because a lot of times if we're going to get hurt, what's the point of training? If you're going to go out there and train and you're going to get hurt doing that training, there's no point. And I'm going to give you a really good example. Back in 2010, yeah, maybe 2009. I don't know. Right before I went to Afghanistan, we came across this training facility, right? And we're doing this urban patrol kind of thing. We're going house to house, and we're walking down this village that the Marine Corps has, right? The Mount facility for some of you guys that are big in the military. And this guy want us to jump this super high wall. And the first guy jumped over, and he just hit the floor so bad. And the second guy jumped over this wall and hit the floor again so bad. And I'm like, dude, we got to stop doing this. I mean, obviously, this is not making any sense. One of the guys is going to jump the wall, it's going to break his face, and what's going to happen is that he won't be able to deploy. So obviously, in that situation, what are we trying to accomplish? We're trying to learn how to jump a wall. People are getting hurt. Don't do that. So training always has to have some type of safety plan, because if you're going to get hurt, if you're actually going to get hurt, don't train. And I think about this all the time. People buy a gun and they put a gun inside their house, and they don't have any precautions related to the children. So you buy a gun to protect your children, and you put it in this table, and then your little boy is going to pick it up and shoot himself. So in all reality, you were trying to protect your family, but you end up doing more damage to your family because you lack of knowledge, you lack of responsibility, you lack of everything. So to me it's simple. To me it's simple. You got to do some training. You got to go out there and practice, learn how to use your firearm. You got to use the whole crawl, walk, and run system. You got to take that class. You got to do that dry practice. You got to do that life event. You got to go through that process, and from there, you got to have a safety plan. You have to make sure that your training is safe, because if you're going to hurt yourself, there's no point in doing it. So that was going to be my rant for the day. So again, the purpose of training is to increase your skills, not to hurt yourself. So that's what I have. Let me see who's putting comments over here. I kind of went into a little rant, but I wanted to talk about that before I see some of the comments here. Again, big shout out to all you guys watching out there. Really appreciate that. Really, really do. So, all right. So if you guys got any questions, put it here in the comments. I'm going to read some of those comments and see. Mateo's in the house. What do you think about the CW380? We got to go into the range and put some rounds down range. All right, M2L2 say, if you conceal carry, do you take off your gun when playing with your little children, as in wrestling? Yeah, man. I wouldn't. Here's the deal. I wouldn't play around with my children if I'm carrying a gun. Definitely not. I will have them keep it distant. Now, I wouldn't say completely keep it distant from me, but my children are a little bit older, so they know that I'm carrying a gun. But I wouldn't play around with a firearm. I just wouldn't. That's just a recipe to something happening. Obviously you have a holster. Obviously it's protected, but what about if something happened, your gun come out? I mean, I would keep it safe, distant. If I want to play with my children, I just take my gun and I put it in my gun safe or wherever I have it in a secure place, and I play with them, especially wrestling or something like that. And then I would take my my gun back to me. So best AK, I don't know, man. Probably Mateo can tell you that. Best AK. I'm not so much of an AK fan. I mean, little brother has a DDI, and he likes it very, very much. Uh, but then again, there's so many controversy here on the best AK, best AR. It's always something best, but uh, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know which one is the best one. I'll be really careful when guy says best this, because the reality is that a lot of YouTubers make videos and they call it best this, best that, and some of the titles may be inflated for them to get views. But in all reality, what is really a testing of a firearm? I laugh about testing here because I could give you an impression of what I like and what I don't like. And a lot of times I kind of refrain myself from saying reviews, but I could give you kind of like, hey, you know what? I like this about this gun. I like that about this gun. But no one here, no one in this community really, maybe one or two, really test a firearm, because testing a firearm would take time. I mean, it would take really a lot of rounds. It would take you months. Like if the guys that go to combat and use an AR-15 for 7-8 months, I would call that truly a testing, to include gear. But the guys that get a backpack and give you a review, to me, it's always kind of like, hey, it's working really good, but I always like to see what's going to happen a year from now. And that's why I like to do videos a year later, because I really want to know how it looks like or how that gear is doing a year from now. So I don't know. I kind of get a little bit into the best things. Let me see. Micah, outside training, outside the Marine Corps. No, I have not. And here's the deal. Really, people really need to understand this, because I see many videos where people say, this is the best training I ever had. It's better than in the military. But then you ask the guy, what was your job in the military? And he would tell you, I was a cook. Okay, obviously you were being a cook, and I don't want to offend anyone, but obviously you didn't do any good training combat related, right? Because I mean, what really training can you do? You were a supply guy. Oh, I was a dentist, really. So I'm always kind of like weird with guys that tell you I've never done any training. I've done training that is better than the military, and I see instructors here doing that all the time. And to me, it's always like, really, have you done? What kind of training have you done? Where were you stationed? Oh, I was stationed in Japan. Well, the Marines in Japan really don't support Afghanistan and Iraq. They really don't. They in that side of the planet, right? So they don't really get that training as the Marines in North Carolina or in the United States, 1st and 2nd Marines, or 1st and 2nd MEF for some of you military guys. So they don't really have priority. So they don't really get that training. So I'm really careful with those guys. This is the best training, better than the military. I guarantee you that there is no better training than the military. I don't even have to think about that. I've done training where we have ships. I'm talking like $1 billion ships with helicopters supporting me, where we have to call for medevac, and we don't pretend. We don't go like, can you? No, like actually a 53 lands right there, and we medevac people. I've done training where we have hundreds of people in a location with entire villages, vehicles, and even guys that they bring down to role play to do this type of training. So a lot of times you hear this guy saying this training is better than the military. That's because you, sir, never did any good training. That's the reality. That's the reality. So I'm really careful with those guys that say this training is better than the military. Really? Okay, sure. I truly don't believe that. Let's see. Great. Okay, great. Yeah, Big Johnson said a great Kaide holsters. You should never have any issues with retention. Yeah, no doubt. I just wouldn't, I kind of feel when I have a gun on me, I kind of feel not weird, but I'm kind of like, oh, I have a gun. So to me, it's like, I don't know, I got a sense of responsibility in a way. So I try to I try to do the best that I can. I try not to open the door to a possible issue. If you get yourself into an argument, that could potentially escalate into fighting. That could potentially escalate into you shooting a person or the person grabbing the gun, deadly force. I mean, that could just open the door to many different things. So I try to stay away from that. Man, I love Wicked Sensation. You always got. I saw you put in some comments in a video, the whole safety video today. By the way, I did agree with you. I just wasn't gonna jump into that conversation. I mean, it was a lot of comments, but I do agree with you with what you said. Karen saying, do you CC at home while alone? I always have a gun. I may not, when I'm home, I may not have a gun on me, but I always have a gun. Let's say if I go from my room to the computer area here, if you guys see this black camouflage area, that's my background, by the way. When I stand up, I just raise the camera and I use that as a frame. And when I'm done recording, I sit down and edit the videos. So, yeah, like if I go from the room to here or something, I always have a gun hanging around close to me. And I just recently saw a video from a UPS guy knocking on the door. People open the door. Next thing you know, 4 guys went inside the house, and obviously was not the UPS. It was a criminal. So yeah, if I open the door, I even have a gun on me. So let's see. Practice clearing my backyard after. Oh man, go ahead and check out BCA RCA GCA. He said he practiced clearing his yard every episode of The Walking Dead. Yeah, of course, man. Totally get that. I do as well. Obviously, I take all my Glocks out when I watch The Walking Dead. So let me see. Joel say, I got any coquito? No, man, you gotta send me some. All right, I kind of jumped the comments here. Let's see, always carry one in the pipe. Yeah, obviously, always carry condition 1. Again, guys that don't do that. I was talking to an individual the other day that doesn't do that. To me, it's a lack of, I guess, maybe a lack of training and practice, maybe a lack of carrying a gun for a long time. It takes some time for people to get comfortable in a way that they do that. A lot of times we tend to criticize people. We got to kind of stay away from that. We kind of have to encourage people to do it. And the way that people get encouraged and all that stuff is by spending time with their guns. Somebody say around children, write a little bit more on that. Always carry one around. James said, if I have a holster next to the toilet, no, I don't. I just bring a gun with me, man. Yeah, Wicked Sensation said cooks don't even cook in the military anymore. Yeah, you're right, man. At least in the Marine Corps, cooks were barely any cooks anymore. A lot of civilians get hired for that, and obviously it takes away those military guys to train them for different MOSs that they need. So there's a lot of civilians in a base. You go to a base, it's full of civilians working there. All right, Mateo says guys in Oki don't get good training anymore. Not really, man. When I was there in 2010 to 2012, it was horrible. The training things that we had weren't good, and like I say, all priority went down to guys in the United States, because obviously they support the combat operations more than the guys in Oki. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of guys from Okinawa deploy, and we had guys from our units that deployed in combat operation, but typically they don't. The guys that deploy to those places usually come from California or North Carolina mainly. But the funny thing was that we had a range. Maybe you remember this, or maybe you did this. The range for the machine guns for the 50s and 240s, I want to say too. What they do, I know Wicked Sensation's gonna have a blast on this one. What they do is that you place the 50 cal. Keep that in mind. You place the 50 cal, and then you have to stick the barrel in a little hole. And what that does, obviously, is that it doesn't allow you to, move that barrel completely left to right. So essentially, you have so many degrees to the left, so many degrees to the right, and then do that to be safe. Obviously, you don't want to shoot some civilian or something. But I always thought it was kind of funny, you have to stick the 50 cal barrel in there and shoot some rounds. I just thought it was hilarious. Shwell11 says, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, brother. Merry Christmas to you, man. Obviously, keeping you in prayers. Not sure if you got the surgery yet. Let us know if you're going to. Yeah, we could say, flying on a little bird, carrying an M60 while marketing targets with tracer fire for fast mover. Can a civilian training replicate that? Obviously not. That's why I always laugh at those people that say this is better training than the military. No, I don't think so. And you got to keep around this. I was a military policeman. I was an MP. I spent the majority of my time in the field side. Only spent, I want to say, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years in the military police driving a patrol car. The majority of the time I spend it in the field side, and again, doing things like MSR patrols, combo security, protective service detail in those countries. So we got the opportunity to get a lot of training, but we didn't get the opportunity to get good training, better training like the infantry. The infantry always gets better training. Obviously, they is the infantry. So to hear some of those guys saying, "Oh, this is better," come on, man. No, it's not. The military gives you better training. I'm with you, Wicked. I'm with you, brother. All right, so Tyler's in the house. Tyler East is in the house. Now we gotta watch him, Mateo. Finally, we got him here. You know he's like the #1 troll here in the channel. So nah, I'm just kidding. Big shout out to Tyler East. Really, really good guy, and I appreciate the support. Schwell had the surgery December 16th. Healing slowly, man. That's amazing, dude. Prayers your way as always, man. Every time I hear about that, we pray, and we always give glory to God because He's good, and God is in the business of healing people. That's His business. So some people are in the business of gun control. Some people are in the business of making money. Some people are in the business to screw you over. God is in the business of healing people. That's what He does. And I love that, man. That's just amazing, dude. Yeah, it's like Mateo said, when he was in Okinawa, it was totally different. Hey, man, you know what? It has been, 4 years since I left Okinawa. It could potentially be completely different from what I'm saying right now, man. So, all right, let's see who else out there. I can't wait. Big Johnson say I can't wait for the CZP-10C. It's gonna have the FDE version. Man, that's amazing, dude. Looking forward to see the video. Hopefully soon. And let's see who else. I haven't bought any guns in quite some time, and with the baby now. I mean, the baby's amazing, man. I got to do a video. I'm going to do a video this week and post the baby because I got to tell you guys, the baby is just such a nice baby. Like, he barely cries. He barely does any, gets cranky. All he does is eat, smile, looks cute. I mean, he's the best baby ever. He goes to sleep around 10 o'clock at night, wakes up the next morning around 7. Sleeps all night now. I mean, it's just amazing. So let's see what else here. Ooh, Mateo got a good question. Okay, first, Vito says, what do you think for first firearm, 1911? I wouldn't go with a 1911 as a first gun, as a first firearm, because, I mean, 1911s are great guns, but to me, you know, obviously you're going to lock in capacity. It's going to be a heavier gun. A lot of them don't have a rail to place a light. Obviously, that's a 45 ACP. If you're new to the handguns, I don't know how good you're gonna do with the 45. Nothing crazy, but again, you know, you have the single action, double action trigger. You know, you got a safety, you got a decocker, you got this, you got that. To me, for the first time, I wouldn't go with a firearm like that. But if you go for that gun and you master that gun, then again, you're going to be able to do, you know, from there, you could go. It's kind of like starting in the top, kind of like the hardest gun. Anything else, you're going to be able to deal with it. But I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't. I would probably go with something like a striker fire pistol, something that you could use for concealed carry and home defense. Something right there in the middle that you could use it for those things. You know, like I think Big Justin has the SIG P320. Man, that's a sweet pistol, man. That's a very nice pistol. You could, if you get the compact, you could. I think it's called a compact or the carry model. You could carry that pistol, conceal carry. You could use it for home defense. I mean, sweet spot right there, man. Mattel says, do I get the TP9SF Elite or the P10C? Yeah, I agree with Wicked, man. P10C, that's what I would go for. Man, you know, I've been looking at this TP9s for quite some time, and I think I said this in the past. I have never jumped on it because the whole drama with supporting terrorists and this and that. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's false. I don't know what it is, but I just haven't had the time to do the research and find out what's the deal with that. So all right, so yeah, Big Johnson said TP9SF for me, super weak ejection. I think 1776 or bust. He was talking about the same thing in one of his videos. Nacho says, what do you think about California laws on guns and concealed carry? By the way, I love the channel. Thank you so much, man. You know, really appreciate that. When people tell me I love the channel, I always get kind of like, oh, okay. You know, I don't know. It's kind of like, sometimes it's kind of weird to hear because I just share my life, and I think that's why we continue to grow, because, you know, whatever I say here, guys, this is what I believe. I don't make this stuff up. I just talk about things that I like, things that I enjoy, you know, like I just share my life. But I think it's crap, man. I mean, you know, any place that tells you, controls you, and doesn't allow you to exercise your constitutional right, I mean, obviously it's wrong. But at the same time, a lot of people say, you know what, you should leave and you should go to a different place. And maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm down here in the Sunshine State and it's easier for me. But it's good that you're there. Continue to fight. Continue to represent the gun community, you know. Continue to represent us in a good way. Continue to share, you know, about firearm. Continue to, you know, follow the law, get your concealed carry or get whatever you could carry, whatever you could do, and continue to fight because you truly, sir, have a fight, you know, against this people, against a tyrannical government. You really do. And, you know, obviously anything that we could do to help, we always help. You know, there's a lot of groups that help. And a lot of times us here as YouTubers, we try to spread the message and try to help as much as we can. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Mattel, if you have the money, buy them both, man. That's always the answer, right? I forgot to say that. 4-inch revolvers, what Joel said, 4-inch revolvers, what I always recommend. Mike, I said no. Man, you got to think about this. Revolvers are one of those debatable topics that people get really mad about sometimes, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend a revolver for a first firearm. I essentially mainly because revolver has less capacity. You're looking about 5 to 6 rounds, and if it's your first gun, it has to meet a lot of different requirements. You potentially have to meet concealed carry, potentially have to meet home defense. Have to meet all these things, right? Like right now, I just posted a video on the car CW380. Love that little gun, but it wouldn't be my first gun because that pistol right there is specifically for pocket carry. So it wouldn't be my first gun. So again, I wouldn't recommend a revolver for the first gun, a 4-inch revolver. I would definitely recommend it as a regular firearm. They're really fun to shoot, and they're solid, reliable, and all that stuff most of the time. But I will stick with something that has a lot of rounds, more rounds, because again, you have that home defense need, if you want to put it that way. Wicked said, "Don't get me started on revolvers." Mateo says a good mid-range 1911 is the Rock Island. Yeah, man, definitely. I do like, and I don't have too much experience on this one, but I do like the Ruger. It's the SR 1911, I think it is. The Commander sight. I kind of like that one. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, it's really good. Yeah, James is asking if anybody has a Canic out there. People claim to have good, they're reliables and wait, give me a second. All right, so there we go. So James is asking about the Canic TP9, I'm assuming, and he's just asking for some information. If you have one, put it in the comments. Let us know how reliable and dependable they are. So Luke is calling me. The Daily Shooter. Let's answer the Daily Shooter. What's up, man? Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Let me put you in speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right. So let me see some of you guys out there in the comment section. Let me know if you could hear the Daily Shooter. Says something, man.
Hey, I was wondering, would you consider the 380? I saw you did a video of the car 380. Would you consider that to be a capable home defense cartridge?
You gotta put me in the spot, didn't you? No, I wouldn't use it as a first. Me personally, I wouldn't use it as my first choice. But yeah, I wouldn't use it as. You're funny, man. You call me in the fun. You crack me up, man.
Yeah, if you're gonna take phone questions, that'd be fantastic. I really appreciate it. If you'd like, maybe just put your phone number on the screen. We'll have people call in. That'd be great. Anyway, take it easy, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. All right, this really should have cracked me up. All right, so the question was, will you use a 380 or will you consider 380 good for home defense? I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't for many reasons. I would pretty much just stick to a 9mm. And essentially, the reason why is because, first of all, 380s are going to be typically a firearm that is very small. Typically, it's going to be in a firearm that has less capacity. Typically, it's going to be in a firearm that doesn't give you the ability to put a light. So to me, that Card 380 doesn't really fit the specific of a home defense firearm. For me, it has to have a rail so I can put a light. It has to have a good capacity, at least 15 to 17 rounds. It has to have good size. And again, all these little pistols are lacking on that. So a lot of people say, well, why are you carrying such a small pistol? Well, the reason why people do that is so they could have that deep concealment to use it in case of a concealed carry attack or an attack, but they're going to use it with the whole, surprise factor, if you want to put it that way. It's going to give you the ability to take that gun out and engage that bad guy, but you always are looking for that surprise factor. So again, to me, that CW380 is a great choice. You could put it in your pocket and all that. But you got to think about this. If you find yourself in a confrontation, you have to wait for the right moment, because you got a little pistol with 6 rounds. Anyone with any pistol bigger than that is going to have that fire. They're going to have superior fire over you. So for home defense, no, man. You're going to be possibly in a dark area. You only have 6 rounds, so 380 ACP, possibly multiple suspects. They may be wearing, God knows what they're wearing. I wouldn't go with that. I would stay with at least to a 9mm, and I will stay with at least, again, 9mm and a firearm that has a plenty good amount of rounds. Something like my Glock 17 has like 17 rounds. Man, you crack me up. You call me on the front there. He's like, I got a question. That made my night. All right. So again, Wicked Sensation says, LOL, the Daily Shooting, good guy, great channel, no doubt. Check him out, great channel. And me and him go way back to like 30 subscribers, I think I had, and he had like 90 or something like that. So we go to under 100 subscribers, and we've been doing this for the last three and a half years, almost 4 years by now. So again, people keep talking about the Canic. I don't know any. I haven't heard any issues in the Canic. I've seen some good channels here in the community review those pistols, and I've seen good things on it. I think the Late Boy Scout did a review, and he said good things on it. And the Late Boy Scout, to me, is he seems some pretty solid dude, and he provides great videos. So I don't question. I'm not going to question his integrity, but yeah, definitely. All right, so question here, Mateo said he has seen some of the Glocks for about $315. Definitely the used market, you can find good pistols. Always look in the used market, guys. Always do. Blue Label, Joel says about the Blue Label. If you're not aware, I think I did a video about this a while ago. The Glock gives a discount to military. I want to say it's retired military, active duty military, police officers, EMS. I don't think veterans follow into that, but yeah, they do give a discount. It's really, really good. I think I bought my Glock 19 and 17. I bought it for about $420. So that's definitely a really good price. Let me see. Going through the comments right here. Give me a. Okay, so. All right, big shout out to Capo J. It's in the comment. Go ahead and check him out. Subscribe to him. He's a really cool dude as well, and he does a lot of gun videos, a lot of shooting too. Look, Capo J is one of those guys that do a lot of shooting. James said, "Thank you, Jarhead." Thank you, man. I appreciate you watching, dude. I do these videos, and when you guys watching, to me, it's like amazing because I take your time, so I know you guys' time is precious. So it's amazing when you guys watch the video. Jeremy says, "What's up, JH6? What's up, man? How you doing?" And the comments are going pretty quick right now. So let's see. I when I did the video on the SIG P320, I said it was an awesome gun. I say I loved it. It was great. Big shout out to Mike. He came by my job and he was like, "Hey man, you want to review the SIG P320?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." He let me borrow it for, I want to say, about a week. And I think even the video that I did, I called it the Glock Killer. That's what I called the video. And You know, not nowadays, all the bigger YouTubers are saying, "Oh, it's a great pistol," so everybody's kind of going for it. But I thought it was a great pistol from the beginning. All right, let's see. All right, Jeremy says, "I love you, man. I love you too, buddy." All right. Yeah, the 320. I mean, a couple of things that I like about the 320 more than the Glock. One was the trigger. The trigger was really good, so the trigger was great. The other thing I think I want to say was the serrations on the pistol was good, and the ergos. I mean, the pistol felt really, really nice on my hand. So Joel says six are great, little prices, but if you can't afford it, yeah, man. You know, and it's funny because I told little brother. I remember when little brother started buying pistols, and he told me one time something like, "I would never spend this much in a pistol, maybe like $600 or $700. No, $700, $800." And and now he's so much into pistols that he doesn't care. You put a pistol that costs $800, and he would debate on buying that pistol. So I guess the more you buy pistols, the more that your addiction kind of goes up in a way. Uh, but yeah, man, I mean they're a little bit pricey, but you get what you pay for, man. You know, I guarantee you, you find yourself in a situation where somebody's shooting at you. You want to have top quality stuff. There's nothing wrong with having budget gear. There's nothing wrong with having a budget pistol, or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, some people don't have the money to buy some stuff. I mean, totally get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I work all day and I come here and do this. I'm not rich by any means. So some people just don't have the money. But once you buy that budget choice, you definitely need to start saving, you know, $10, $20, whatever it is. And to get to a point that you don't have that budget choice anymore. Now you have something that is reliable and dependable and something that you know is going to work. So let's see. Nick says rifles over pistols in my case. Hey, man, you know, I'm more into pistols over rifles, into, I guess, more into the collecting firearms. I do enjoy pistols more, but there's nothing like a rifle. You have to have a rifle. I mean, I talked about it here so many different times, man. You have to have a rifle. You really do. A pistol should be used to fire yourself back into a rifle, so you really need one. But when it comes down to the collection piece, I do enjoy pistols more than rifles. Let me see. Jeremy says, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, so I consider you a brother in Christ, and I appreciate you standing up for Jesus Christ and the Second Amendment. Glory to God, brother. He makes me how I am. Oh, let's see. 40 subs. Tyler said 40,000 subs. Will the operator be back? 40,000 subs. Will the operator be back? A comeback, LOL. Man, I wish, man. My job made me shave. Apparently, you have to have a good whatever, cleaning face or whatever. You know, maybe one day when I become a full-time YouTuber and I actually make decent money out of this, and I could just make videos every single day. I just grow a beard, and then I could stand in front of targets while people are shooting at me, and make videos about that. Oh man, I can't believe I said that. All right, so here's the deal. You know, I said this in the past. I said rifles. James says rifles are nice to have at home, but we need pistols on hand. That's a very good point, because knowing that, you know, where we live in here, a lot of times you won't be able to conceal carry a rifle. You know, you will be able to conceal a pistol. So a lot of times people, people buy a rifle, but in all reality, you're going to use the pistol more. So it will make sense for a lot of people to buy a pistol first and then go for that rifle. But the key here is not to buy a bunch of rifles or a bunch of pistols and neglect everything else, right? I talked about that in the past. I said how people buy something and neglect everything else, right? You buy 30 pistols, but you don't have food and water. You buy 30 pistols, but you don't have any medical supplies. You buy 30 pistols, but you don't know how to use them because you haven't taken one class. So the key here is to have something that works, but then from there, make sure you cover the other aspects of preparation, right? Yeah, let's see. Joel said high point is better than no point. You're right, man. You're totally right. Let me see. Comments are jumping comments. Big Johnson, Big Johnson Guns and Gear say he doesn't like pistols. I don't think I believe that, man. Yeah, you know what? Nick is right. He said rifles are more fun to shoot at a long distance. You're totally right, man. I mean, not here we're talking about a preference. Some people said blue is prettier than red. So yeah, but it's a lot of fun when you hit a target at a long distance. I won't doubt that. I know I done it. Let's see. Ray said, "What do I think about ATS Max? I don't know, man. I don't have none of them. I really don't. I think the Daily Shooter just posted a video about some mags. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, I don't have any. I stick to Mac Pool. I mean, I've been using it for so long, and I know the work. So, but yeah." Rebel say has been forever since the last string. I was missing them. I know, man. Little baby in the house, 2 months, 2.5 months right now. And I got to tell you, October, when the baby was born, was a crazy month. I mean, I came back the day before the hurricane. I made a home to block all my windows. And I mean, I made a home a couple of hours before. I blocked all my windows, started to rain, and at one point the news was like, we are going to die. The hurricane is going to kill us. I mean, it was pretty scary, guys. I had my wife here with a brand new baby. I mean, 3 days old. My older kids, my family was here. I didn't even have time to pack. So, I mean, it was just crazy. But bless the good Lord. Thank you, Jesus. We're okay. Wiggy said my beard's getting epic. 9 months and growing. Man, I'm so jealous, dude. I'm really. You see this right here? I got to shave tomorrow morning. So I wish, man. Once I become a full-time YouTuber and I'm part of this awesome gun community as an operator, I will grow my beard back. Would I consider doing a video of your collection? Not, I don't know, man. More to follow on that. I don't know if I want to show all my guns. There's too many creepy stuff going around in the internet. Let me see. Mattel says ETS, no way. I would take Mattel. He knows a lot about guns. So if he says no way, to me, that's just maybe not a good thing. I apologize about this. The comments kind of went crazy here for a second. Oh, comments are going crazy. Jeremy says, I having my second Congress. I having my second boy in February. Glory to God, man. That's just amazing, man. Congratulations, dude. You're gonna have a blast. This was number 3 for me, and it's just amazing. I love my family. I'm truly blessed. Okay. So Nick says, "Do I own an AK?" I don't. I don't have an AK. Little brother has an AK, and he has the DDI AK, and he likes it very much. And we've done videos here on the channel on it, and so far he dig it. That's like little brother has an AK and an AR, and he loved the AK more than anything else. And he's always telling me how I suck because I got an AR, and he loves his AK. Chance will die. Kevin says, "Do you think gun channels would die down?" I don't know, man. I don't get into that. I haven't been in that side yet, and I just haven't. And mainly because a lot of times people ask me, "Hey, go into Twitter, go into Instagram, go into this." And I do have a Twitter account, and I do have an Instagram account, and I try to go that way, and I try to push that and all that, but what comes to happen is that I'm a one-man show. So I do all these videos. I do videos with my wife, with the makeup and stuff. I do the videos at church. We edit videos for church. We do the recording at church. I got a family. So what happened is that I start neglecting, or not really neglecting, I just don't have the time to answer comments in the YouTube channel. So to me, it's like, if I expand to all this, I'm going to neglect this one. So, I know it's hurting my channel. I know that my channel could grow even faster if I get into Instagram, if I get more into Twitter, if I exploit those things. I know I could get bigger as a channel, but I like answering the comments. That's my strategy. A lot of YouTubers don't answer the comments. There's many guys that have 20 plus thousands of subs that won't even answer you a comment. So I don't want to do that. I want to maintain the community. I want to answer comments, and I want to stick around in the comments. So because I do this, I don't have the time to do all the stuff, all the websites and things like that. I just can't do it. Nick said, if I have a lever action rifle, no, I don't. I wish I would, though. Have one of those 357, kind of like have it with one of my 357 or my 357 revolver. I think it would be a good system to have the rifle and the revolver. Be kind of cool. We haven't done RCAS. How is the range going on? We haven't done much, man, because of Christmas and New Year's coming around. We really haven't done much. We are going to cook a pig this Saturday coming up. So we are going to be out there cooking and eating good. What do I think about the SOCOM 6 thing? I don't have one, so I can't give you an opinion. It looks like a cool rifle. It looks kind of heavy to me. So I don't know. I'm a fanboy of my AR-15, man. It's a good size, weighs 7 pounds, 7 something. It's easy to carry, and I could carry a lot of rounds. And I don't know. I know how to use it, so I'm a big fanboy of the AR-15. But it looks like a really cool rifle, man. I wish I had the money to get one and try it out. All right, let's see. Yeah, Mattel said he wants a 1A1. I want one for sure. I'm with you, man. All right, what gun? Let's see. What gun YouTube channels do I watch? Let me think about that. All right, I watch the Daily Shooter. I watch his channel. I watch pretty much all his videos. Good channel. I also watch Nick from Tactically Practical. Maybe I messed up his channel name all the time. So I watch Nick from Tactically. So I watch him. Who else I watch? I watch, you know what? I watch a lot of the young, the smaller YouTubers too. I like Big Johnson Guns and Gear. I watch his videos. I watch, uh, I watch 1776 or Boss. I watch his videos too. But other than that, I watch a lot of YouTube strategy channels. Like I watch a guy named Roberto Blake. I watch video creators because those guys talk about YouTube strategy. But there is a Daily Shooter. But I watch Daily Shooter is one of those channels that I don't miss a video. If I miss one or two, I go back and check them all. Make sure I always put comments on there. But when it comes down to like the really big YouTubers, I don't really watch them that often because I don't know. It kind of takes away from the community. Sometimes you put a comment there. I feel the same way that you guys feel. I'm not just a lot of YouTubers tell you I don't watch YouTube. I watch this. I enjoy it. I watch videos all the time. And just like some of you guys, I put video comments on a lot of channels and they don't even answer you. And sometimes I'm like, there's no community here. So trust me, I watch a lot of videos and I see you guys in the comments all the time and all the other channels and all that stuff. But yeah, that's about it. Let's see. The thing that sucks, really, really the thing that sucks about this, you know what it is that building a channel takes so long. Oh, there we go. BZA. I watch his videos too. But making a channel takes so long that a lot of times guys come here into the community and they put a video and they do it for 6 months. And what comes to see, and I've seen this so many times, is that they stop making videos. A lot of guys come here with the idea that I'm going to make 40 videos and something's going to happen, right? And I'm going to become famous and I'm going to make a ton of money and all this. And the reality is that it is not, so a lot of good channels come here and they start really strong and they put a lot of videos and all this stuff and then they disappear. And I'm like, what happened? And they just stop making videos. So I guess if you're a smaller channel, or just pace yourself because you don't want to get to a point where you stop making videos. Always pace yourself and continue. But like I said in my video, I just posted a video saying Merry Christmas and all that. This coming year, I'm not going to even worry about the numbers. This coming years, I'm just going to worry about building a better community. That's what I'm going to do in 2017. Let me see. So, overall, I try to support people that support me too as well. So I do that a lot as well. But all right, so 11:30. I think I went a little bit more than I was planning to. I wonder what the wife is going to say. Let me see this. I don't even know how long is this chat so far. Probably a good hour, maybe. I don't know. If you can see the timer, let me know in the comment section. All right, so all right, guys. So if anybody put a question, put it there. I'm about to stop this. There we go. Joe said HotShot 87. I watch him too. The Firearm guy, I watch him too. Hickok, I watch him if I want to put if I want to buy a gun and he has a review, I tend to watch him sometimes as well. But the Firearm guy is in my top channels too. And the Firearm guy supported my channel, has supported my channel very well. I talked to Dan several times and many times, and he had gave me excellent advice. So I definitely appreciate his support on this. You should join live stream. Nick says you should join the live stream where they answer viewers' questions about guns. Okay, I got it. Got it. Steve says, love what you're doing, brother. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Nick said never enough ammo is a good channel. Got it. James says thanks for the times y'all heard. You do great answering comments. Definitely appreciate our effort. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Wiggins said Dan, the firearm guy, has a great channel too. He definitely does. He has a really good channel. Mattel says, yeah, Dan has a great channel, The Daily Shooter as well. Uzi9, thank you. You see, you guys are putting names, and you guys is making me remember now. Uzi9 is one of my favorite channels too, man. He has great input, and what I like about Uzi9, and I gave him several shout outs here in the channel. What I like about Uzi9 is that he comes to it with a civilian mentality. He doesn't come to it with a ninja operator mentality. He just talks about things that he sees according to what he thinks, as a civilian. So I like listening to that because, I don't like, sometimes I don't want to listen to somebody kind of with the military mentality like I do. He has a civilian aspect, and that's kind of the information that I'm seeking. So I really do like his videos, and he has good topics as well. And I have done a couple of VRs to his videos because his topics are so good. So all right guys, so I appreciate you guys watching. Really appreciate the support. You guys are great. Thank you so much for sticking around here and continue to support the channel. I mean, it's just amazing. Some of you guys do great. Some of you guys support me by liking, sharing, subscribing. Some of you guys are supporting me by using those Amazon links and just buying things using the link from the channel. I mean, it costs you zero money, but it brings money into the channel, and that's great. I mean, it humbles me that people do that. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support. We got a bunch of videos coming up. Today I was editing some videos, and I got a lot of stuff to review, man. I'm kind of running behind on reviews. I really am, but hey, doing this takes a lot of time. But yeah, we got a lot of videos coming up. We won't stop. I want to make at least 250 videos on this coming year. At least. I wish I could put a video a day. I got so much in my brain that I want to tell people that I wish I could put a video a day. And for a long time, I did that when I wasn't working. But now, with work and with the baby and the family, I just can't. But we're still going to put about 5 videos a week, which 4 to 5 videos is a lot of videos still. So yeah, I definitely appreciate the support that you guys been giving me. Let's see what's good. All right, so definitely appreciate that. So again, like this type of video if you like it. If you like the live stream, I try to do them every now and then. I can't promise every week, but I'm going to try to do it every week, every 2 weeks. Come here, talk about a topic, and then just answer questions and spend some time and talk to you guys. VCA says 35,000 subs and you're still humble. Man, it means that 35,000. It means a lot to me. Don't get me wrong. It freaking like 35,000 people subscribe to this channel. Like it's just unbelievable. I can't even believe it. And it continues to grow. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I'm me, man. I mean, it's just God is good, man. If I let that thing get in top of my head, it's just I won't go there, man. God is so good. God takes care of me, takes care of my family, and He says to be humble. So I try to do things for His glory, and so far it's working out great. Big shout out to David Wicks out there. Me and him went to boot camp together. So Semper Fi Marine, man, those were the day. But anyways, thank you so much for the support, guys. Stay subscribed. We got a lot of videos coming up, and as always, God is in control.